You're an independent animal rescuer.
Yes.
That's like what it says on the Facebook page, which is Mike Rescues. What is it?
Yeah, it's just Mike's Animal Rescues.
Mike's Animal Rescues.
Very
okay.
creative.
Well, you don't need to be creative if you're accurate.
Yeah.
So, Andy, you start because
Okay.
I want to bring up something. Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been doing it, first of all?
It's about 2 years now.
How did you even get into this sort of thing? Because do you just rescue kittens, or because you foster these kittens too?
I do, yeah.
Before they're ready. So do you just foster kittens, or do you foster other animals or other cats that you rescue?
Mostly cats, but that's just because that's what needs rescuing. I've done dogs and rabbits and things like that, but usually when I get a call, it's about cats because there's a lot of them, especially in Niagara Falls.
So, my thing, and this is what I think about every time I hear a story about you going out to rescue a cat, is with the exception of the two cats that we have, Seinfeld and Mia, I am not afraid of cats. I'm afraid to ever try to pick up a cat. Cats, in general, do not like to be picked up and really touched at all unless they want you to pet them. So, for example, my girlfriend has her mom has two cats, and they're outdoor cats, but they don't like them. I don't know if this is a common thing. They don't like to leave them out overnight, right? So they always come back in when the sun starts to go down, and we'll be letting her dog out to go to the bathroom or something later at night, and the cats will always try to get out, and they'll be like, "Don't let the cats out." And I'm like, I'm not putting myself in the way of that cat and that door because I've seen those cats like eat birds and stuff like that. I don't want to be the next victim of that cat. Not that it's gonna eat me, but I don't want to get like bitten or scratched. It hurts like hell. So
Cats can mess you up.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm assuming you wear gloves and stuff like that, right? Or
I've started to, yeah. I've made that mistake many times. I've had some pretty nasty cuts and bites and stuff like that. So you learn quick. You need to.
So is that a thing that's in your mind when you're going to rescue cats? Like this thing might fucking geek.
Every single time. I've had little kittens just tear me to shreds. It doesn't matter their size or anything like that. It's their claws and they'll mess.
That's
you up.
right. That
Are you asking like, is Mike like in like Vietnam style, like listening to like Fortunate Son or something on his way to rescue the cats?
Up, man.
He shows up and he's in war mode because I would get there and I'd be like cats, they find themselves in tight spaces. That's what they do when they don't want to be grabbed. And if you're sticking your hands into a tight space to grab a cat, I feel like it's not often going to take kindly to you trying to do that.
No, you need welding gloves. That's the only thing that would protect you from getting bit. And I've had a couple cats who almost bit through those. As hard as that is to believe, they can bite hard, yeah.
So when people call you, is it usually like, I have seen this cat wandering around? Is it, I stumbled upon these kittens? What kind of calls do you usually get?
Yeah, it's a lot of that. Right now is kitten season, so it's so busy. I only really take the calls for kittens, brand new kittens that need to be brought in, or injured or sick cats. But yeah, you get a lot of calls about just, hey, I saw this stray cat, and we try to point them towards the SPCA. It's a good resource for that. And there's other local rescues that do that kind of stuff, but you kind of have to triage right because there's always injured ones, kittens, things like that.
And there's a lot of stray, especially in this area, right over by Tonawanda Island. There's cats over there. I'm pretty sure people call it Cat Island. So again, I am a little bit afraid of cat rescue, but props to you. The other thing I was going to say, it slipped my mind. It was one of those things.
You had a good start to it.
Well, so I was going to say two things. One, I know. So talking about the SPCA, that's where we got our cats from when we did get them, brother and sister. And I think about that a lot. I want to know. I wonder where they came from. Not like it doesn't keep me up at night, but I'm like, I want to know, did these cats get rescued? Did somebody's cat have kittens and they just didn't want these two? Because they're, they're
love your
best
guys.
cats.
They're the best
ever. But back to what Andrew said, what kind of calls do you get? This is another thing I wanted to bring up. So, Andrew's girlfriend's mom has cats, right? And she loves her cats. And that's how Andrew and Zoe ended up with a cat and stuff like that. And one of their cats got lost. They couldn't find the cat, and they were pretty worried about it for a couple of days, right? That they didn't know. At least
2 or 3 days or something.
Yeah. And so they end up giving you a call, and sure enough, I remember hearing this story. I remember Andrew saying, like, I have to go with Zoe and look for the cat or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was like within hours of me finding out that that you were going to find the cat, and they were like, I don't know if we're going to find it. The cat was found.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually my favorite part of doing all that. Is
Well,
being able
you
to,
can just bring, like, talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
reuniting people with their lost cats is great. I mean, people get, it's like their family. So, no, it's really good.
So what's the strategy there when you?
Yeah, because this cat was gone for a couple days, and I was skeptical. I was like, "There's
I
no
think you
way
all were
Mike is
skeptical.
going
I
to
can
be
tell
able
just
to
by
find
talking to you
it."
guys. You were
yeah,
like,
it was
okay, you find cats, sure, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cats that live in the house mostly, they get out. They want to get out. They're curious, but then they get out and they're scared. They don't know what's going on. They don't know where they are. So they usually hide really close to the house. So they're nearby. They're just not going to come out whether you call them. They're not like dogs. So you just set a trap with some bait, and they're going to get hungry. They usually come out at night when people aren't around, and that's what we did. And by the morning, the cat was in the trap.
Did you? It's mind-blowingly simple.
It is.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
That's not how I would catch a cat.
I don't know
I
how.
would have known how to catch a cat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have.
Have you ever caught like a raccoon or something
Oh,
by
yeah.
accident?
Yeah,
Though?
raccoons, skunks, possums. Yeah, they go in. The raccoons are assholes because they'll keep going in the trap. They don't care if they get caught. They know it's a free meal. You let them out. The next night they're back in there again, just waiting for you. It's crazy.
Same raccoon.
Yeah, man, it's nuts.
And you told me something crazy, like the percentage of times when you are actually able to find a cat when it escapes like that is like really, really high.
But yeah, out of all the times that I've done it, I think maybe once we weren't able to get a cat, and I've done it, a couple dozen times. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, their behavior is predictable if you know what I mean. If as long as they're an indoor cat, they haven't been out much, they're not going to go far. They get scared, and I mean, cats hunker down when they're
Yeah.
scared, and they just won't come out. So a little bit of food and a trap, and it usually works.
Another thing that I've seen you have to do with kittens is socialize them. I mean, what does that even mean?
It's the easiest job in the world.
Yeah.
So you get kittens that are feral that haven't been around people, and you need to get them ready for adoption. So I have 4 right now. They're absolutely adorable. And for 2 months, you just play with them. That's it. You just get them used to people. Once they're ready, you can tell they're ready to be house cats, then you send them off for adoption. So that's really fun.
So it's kind of like a dog in a sense. Like 8 weeks, you hang on to them. You get them to play with each other and play with them. You and other people, whoever may stop by, and then just like that, they're just like, hey, we like people now, kind of thing.
That's it. They actually call it flipping because it's like flipping a switch. It's pretty wild. I mean, they're so scared of people, they won't come out. They're wild, and then just one day it's just like flipping a switch.
So you just
I
that's
think
really
that we
cool.
have a cat that's never been socialized. I feel like Mia might never have been socialized.
Some
Yeah,
cats
it's tough
aren't,
to
man.
say.
Some
I
cats.
mean, some cats probably, even if they are, they still don't, like to be around people.
Right, that's just their personality.
Whereas the other cat is the exact opposite.
So a big thing I kind of want to ask you was when people do stumble upon if they like a nest of kittens or whatever,
A gaggle of
A
kittens.
litter?
a gaggle of
Is that-
kittens.
Is it a litter?
Yeah.
Yeah. See? Idiot.
No, but it's like if it's outside, it's like a nest
litter-
of
it's a
kittens. If
litter
they're
of
all
kittens.
together, like that's what it looks like. It's
Okay.
like as a kitten nest. That's what I am seeing. So if somebody finds a nest or a gaggle of kittens, what are the most common mistakes that people make?
The biggest mistake by far is that they take them because they don't see the mother, and they're like, "Oh my God, they've been abandoned." It's crazy that mother cats will protect their kittens. They're very defensive, but if a human comes around, the mother bolts, and she'll just leave the kitten. So you'll actually usually not see the mother. Cats are really, really sneaky. So if you see kittens and they look young, do not take them in the house. Do not take them because even with a trained rescuer, the mother gives them the best chance to survive. So, yeah, you can do things like put flour down if it's summer around the kittens and then come back the next day and see if you see paw prints to know if the mother's around. But, yeah, people just grab them and say, oh, my God, these kittens need rescuing, they need saving, and you don't want to do that.
That's a great tip. Because I feel like because I've seen that before. Actually,
Yeah, everybody
I've
does
been to somebody's house and they like had all these kittens. Like, oh my gosh, we found these kittens. We don't know what to do. We're gonna call the SPCA or whatever.
Yeah.
And later on the mom comes back and they're like, okay.
Yep, she's
whatever.
usually out hunting or hiding or whatever. But yeah.
So, taking care of these kittens, aside from playing with them, it's got to be pretty tough. Like, I saw a video of you, I think it's on your Facebook or something. You have to burp kittens like you do kids.
Yeah, well, that was a really, really young one.
Okay.
That one was found, and it was probably like a week old, barely had opened its eyes. Those kittens need to be fed like every hour. I mean, when they need to be stimulated to go to the bathroom. You actually have to like wipe their butt after they eat with a wet paper towel. The mother usually does it with the tongue, and you have to burp them, or they'll have indigestion and actually turn into permanent digestive problems. So, I mean, that thing was tiny. You hold that right in your palm.
Yeah.
That's crazy. A little mini kitten.
It was small.
Well, they're so small. What's the smallest, what's the youngest kitten that you've ever gotten in?
Probably that one, actually. Yeah. And then I got a pregnant mother about a month ago. It was a month and a half ago, and got her just in time. She actually gave birth to the kittens in my closet after I got 2 days after. So technically, brand newborns would be the youngest.
Do you have to doula a cat? How do you coach a cat to give birth?
You don't. That's what's great about having the mother around is that she does everything. I mean, when they're born, you just leave them alone. I mean, you make sure she has food, she has water, but for the first couple weeks of their life, she does everything that needs to be done.
So do you still have those ones right now?
No, they went up for adoption. A couple of them ended up coming down with something. It's kind of a sad story, but I have a new litter now of 4 that I'm taking care of.
Do you put them up for adoption yourself sometimes, or do you send them to the SPCA? What's the best way for you to do it personally?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, if I go out, like last night, I was out catching a cat for a friend. She had been taking care of her for a month and a half, feeding her. And when I got her in the cage, I realized she had nipples, and they don't have nipples unless they're pregnant or just gave birth. Cat was too skinny to have still be pregnant, so you can't take the mother away from the kittens. So I went back and I found 3 of them. So those ones I rescued myself. I'll probably find homes for them myself. But sometimes when I foster, through rescues, they put them up for adoption. So like the 4 I have now, I'll socialize them, and then they'll go up for adoption through Cat by Cat is one of the rescues I work with.
There's got to be a full network of people in the city, of cat people. And I imagine if you stumble across a really young kitten, like the one that you had to burp and stuff, you have to have run into situations that maybe you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So you reach out to the other people then?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yep. There is a huge network, not just in the city or the area, the county, whatever. It's everywhere. Facebook groups are really good for that. I mean, if you find something you don't know, Feral Cat Focus of Western New York's a good one. That's what I refer people to when I'm right now I have 12 cats in my house.
I was gonna ask that as a question. When you're out here doing is that the most amount of cats you've ever had in your house at one time, kind of thing? Because that's a lot of work.
It is. No, actually, last summer I had a combined litter, so I think one of the mothers might have got hit by a car or something like that. But one mother was taking care of 11 kittens, and I took them all in and got them all homes and stuff. That was intense.
Good for them.
Yeah, that was. It was pretty crazy.
That's a lot of cats.
Yeah, it was just constantly, especially when they start getting steady on their feet and they're running around playing. Man, it was wild.
And I like to hear this stuff because I was never really an animal person growing up. For those people who know our father, love is not his strong suit. So his bond with animals has never been a very strong one. All the cats that we had ever had growing up
which was just one.
3.
Yeah, I guess so.
They were obtained behind his back when he was
unaware.
unaware.
Who's that?
Yeah.
That mean cat
History.
you guys
History
had?
was
oh
that
my
cat.
God!
Yeah.
I was young, obviously, but I just remember that cat being.
That was-
I was scared of that cat. I was scared of that cat.
That was a very mean cat.
Yeah.
You would if you walked within 10 feet of her, you were getting hissed at. You would just be trying to go to your own bathroom, and she would be like, "You're gonna have to wait. I'm sitting here right now." But until not too long ago, I never really had, and I mean, we have our cats, but animals in general, I had never been all that comfortable around and stuff like that, dogs and stuff like that, until I've kind of gotten to know and love my current girlfriend's dog the way that I do, because I'm with it all the time, and it's just the sweetest thing ever, and it's kind of turned me into an animal person. So I like to hear about, these cats getting to live their lives and not have to worry about anything after kind of a chaotic start. It's always a good thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, and if you're ever interested in fostering or adopting, come
Yeah,
talk to me.
you know a guy? Yeah.
I know a guy.
Well, Andrew,
I can't even imagine doing what you're doing with all those cats. It must take up the majority of your time.
It does. Yeah, it does. It's almost like a full-time job.
So,
Yeah.
And then here's my other question. So you have a few cats of your own, right?
I do. It's funny. I have two.
So you
only
have
two
two
of those
cats.
are mine. Yeah.
So what is kind of the reaction? Do those cats get to be in the same room as the other cats? Like, how does that work?
Eventually, I mean, when you first bring in kittens, a cat or whatever, you don't know if it has anything.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
So I have a separate room, my cat room. I keep them isolated in, get them checked out by the vet, get them vaccinated, things like that. But it helps with socialization a lot. A lot of the difficult cats who just don't want to warm up to humans, don't want to warm up to me, when I introduce an adult cat to the mix, you'd be surprised. They just kind of take their lead and realize, hey, the human's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your cats ever get jealous of you with other cats?
I don't know about jealous, but my oldest cat's 13, and he's just a grumpy old man. I mean,
Is
you
that
got Blackie Chan.
Blackie Chan?
Yeah,
One of the
he's-
best cat names ever, by the way.
He's a trooper. I mean, you know what I mean? You have these little kittens running around, and he just, hisses at it. Not seriously, but
Yeah.
just like
Right.
stay away from, you know what I mean? You could tell he's just
I don't
grumpy.
want to play little
Just
cat.
just let them know who's boss. Not
Exactly.
real threatening. them
Yeah.
or
This is my
anything like
human's
that.
house, and I do not want to do whatever you're doing.
Yeah, but overall, they've been pretty good. I mean, I've had a lot of cats in and out of there. And, no major fights or issues or anything
Yeah.
like that.